What it do, YouTube? It's SS and I'm back with another one. So this one right here is my Shundo best buddy Umbreon alongside with my rank 4 Shadow Charizard, and also paired up with my not Lowland Cancel Shadow Ninetales. That is a rank 1 in the Ultra League. I did want to try out this double fire strat just in case there was double charm out here or something that I needed. Obviously, Swampert is going to be a big pain, but we do end up baiting it out, and then we come into Umbreon and we will end up doing these battles. So this first set I did do last night. I did it last night, and trying this team out, seeing if it worked, and to my surprise, it actually did work, because the first set that I did try it out, I went 4-1. So I was like, okay, and that was my last set of the night. So I was like, okay, you know what? I am going to try this team tomorrow when I stream. So once again, these battles are done on my Twitch. If you do want to go watch them in real time as they do happen, link in the description. So once again, I do believe we go 4-1 in one of the other set and maybe a 3-2. I can't remember. Might have been all 4-1s. I can't really remember. But all I know is that we went positive with this team. So a lot of teams that I noticed were weak to fire in the back. As soon as you got the water counter, once you got the water Pokemon, any water type, if it was Swampert, Empoleon, anything that was water, as soon as you get rid of it, it seemed like fire was just going it was just running amok in the back. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get to these battles. So now we're gonna see a not Torchic, we're gonna see a Togekiss in the back, and we're just gonna one-shot it with the Blast Burn here, and that's gonna be a good game. So I do believe this is 3 sets that I am going to be showcasing. I did drop a video a little earlier. This is gonna be the second video. We're gonna see Venusaur into our Umbreon. I do end up swapping out instantly because I do want to bait out the Swampert. We do end up baiting the Swampert out. I am running Side Shock for the simple reason that just in case there are fighting types, I do need to go ahead and just throw the Side Shock. So they're going to KO us here after one more mud shot. Very nice of them. But we did put it in range where a couple foul plays should be enough to KO. I am going to wait out my clock, then come back into my Umbreon here, and they're going to throw their first Hydro Cannon, which is very fine. I'm going to farm up. I'm going to try to throw on good timing. I do not want to CMP them, so I was able to sneak in an extra move. I do one for their Mud Shot, one Snarl for their Mud Shot, and we're going to charge up this foul play to an excellent. It is going to be enough to KO. They're going to come into the Venusaur. I come into my Charizard, try to catch a Frenzy Plant. Is this the Frenzy Plant? This is the Frenzy Plant, so we did an amazing catch there. They're staying in, which is very weird. And so now I'm going to bait because I'm thinking that they are going to shield at this point, since they have 2 shields. And since they came into Venusaur instead of not swapping out, I'm assuming that they are going to be weak to Charizard in the back. And since he baited me, I'm going to wing attack him down completely. And at this point, there's no reason for me to bait, so I'm just going straight for the Blast Burn. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, and I'm going to shield this since we have a shield. And we're going to be able to get to this next Blast Burn. We're at it, under tap it, charge it up to an excellent. It is going to roast this Bug Steel, Sizor, however you guys want to pronounce it. Let me know in the comments. But we're going to be able to take that game. And now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Umbreon into Gallade. This is not very good. But once again, we're going to stay in just a little bit. And I do believe we're going to try to catch. Maybe we don't try to catch. But they end up throwing on 4. I do believe this is 4. No, somehow it was the close combat. We called it incorrect. And I go into the wrong Pokemon, but this is still fine. I'm going to call a Rock Slide here. Is the Rock Slide. That is very unfortunate for us. So we're going to get to the Side Shock here. Do they want to shield this Side Shock? They do want to shield it, so at least we got shields. But our Umbreon is pretty much very, very low. I come into Charizard, start wing attacking. I'm going to shield this potential rock slide. It is the rock slide. And now I'm going to farm up a little bit extra here. And I'm going to try to farm them down completely. We are able to farm them down completely. Then they come into Empoleon. This does not look very good for us. Let's see how we play this game. And they're going to no shield the blast burn, which is very brave of them. And we're going to come into our Umbreon, and they swap into their Gallade, which is fine to catch this foul play. That is fine with me. So now I am going to be able to farm up a little extra, and I'm going to believe that I'm going to be able to live this Leaf Blade. We live barely. I do one, and I actually are able to farm them down completely. And since we are able to farm them down completely, we're going to be able to get to this shield here, and that waterfall is going to be enough to KO. And I'm going to just shield this Hydro Cannon here and Drill Peck. Okay, and since we're at the blast burn, I'm just going to fire up the blast burn and charge it up to the next lane. This is going to be a good game. So who said that Charizard cannot beat water types? Because apparently it can. So now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Umbreon up against Walrein. We got two answers for this. So I do believe I ended up making a mistake here by staying in. I think this is where I learned that I just kind of need to swap instantly. And since they're not throwing the move, I really can't shield. I can't really swap out. So I'm hoping that this is the Earthquake so I can swap out. And they ended up baiting me, which is not too ideal. So I'm going to be able to throw the next foul play after doing one Snarl. And we're going to see what they want to do here. I'm going to let this go once again. They need to Earthquake me to be able close to KOing. At this point, they're just going straight Icicle Spear. And I'm like, okay, should have swapped out earlier. Because now in the back is Swampert. And this is not looking too ideal for us. But we're going to see. They do end up shielding, which is good for me. But they're over farming a lot. And I am not going to shield this. Maybe should have shielded this so they could have threw their next move. I don't know. We're going to see how this turns out. But now I'm going to be waiting out the clock a little bit. And I'm one away. They let me get to the foul play, which is very good for me. So we're going to be able to charge it up to the next lane. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is okay. And at this point, I do believe I'm just going to let it go and let my Charizard come in. Oh, I tried to get to the next move. I gave it more farm, which is not too ideal. So at this point, I am going to have to shield this. And we're going to see what we can do here. I'm going to try to... And since they came into the Walrein, so now I am going to let this go. I do believe I tried to farm down. And now I have to shield, which is not very too ideal. I should have just threw the move immediately once I had it. And they're going to come to the Swampert. And this is looking like a CMP tie, I think. Yeah, it was a CMP tie, so I needed to keep that shield. And unfortunately, we're going to end up losing this game. So, yeah, very bad for me. That's where I learned that I should have swapped out instantly to bait out the Swampert. Now we're going to see a Sylveon into our Umbreon, which is not too ideal. So I am going to switch out into our Cancel Ninetales. And are they going to want to shield here? I go for the Side Shock, but I probably should have went for the Weather Ball. Oh, actually, they don't end up shielding, which is very nice for me. So I'm going to let this go. What is it? It is the Thunder Punch, so that is very good for me. I'm going to be able to get to the next Weather Ball here, but not before they end up throwing. But at this point, I do believe I'm just going to end up farming them down completely. And that is what is going to happen. So I'm only going to be able to get to one move off here. And I go for the Weather Ball. They end up no shielding. Actually, we're very questionable, because I could have been able to throw the Side Shock. But that is fine. So now we come into our Umbreon. They swap out instantly, which is fine. So I come into my Charizard. And we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to let this first move go through. Side Shock, that is fine. And I'm going to farm up extra here. We're going to bait. No, we're not going to bait. We want to see what they want to do. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, which is not too ideal. We get to the next move here. And this is looking... Did I... Oh, okay, they actually let it go, which is nice. So now I am at the foul play. I am going to be able to throw the foul play, charge it up to an excellent. Do they win a shield? They do win a shield, which is fine. So now I am going to let this go because my win con is calling a blast burn or dragon claw actually, but this is fine. So now we're going to be able to throw the foul play here, and it is going to be enough, and we actually didn't need the shield, so it didn't really matter, I guess. It looked a lot sweatier right now, but yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure I went 4-1, and that is correct. We did go 4-1. Dratini is going to be our reward, our encounter reward, and we're going to catch it. It's going to take us some time. We're going to go ahead claim, and now we're hopping. So now that set was last night. This set it was on stream, and we're seeing the Florges, which is not too ideal. So I'm going to swap out into our cancel shadow Ninetales, and we're gonna see what they want to do here. I'm going to let this go. It is the psychic. I'm like, okay, I was hoping not. And for some reason I'm missing bubbles here, which is not totally fine, but that is fine. And we lag a little bit, and since I do not want to get hit with another psychic, I am going to shield this. And now I'm going to try to farm down completely. They didn't swap out. It makes me think they might be weak to fire in the back. They come out into a Dragonite. I'm almost at 2 side shocks, so I am going to throw the side shocks back to back. They do end up shielding. They come into, I don't know what that was. I didn't get to see. But I get the side shock off. They end up shielding. No, they don't shield. This is crazy. So they did a nice catch there. I come into my Umbreon here because I do not want to get hit with rock slides on my Charizard, and it looks like we're lagging real bad here. But are we going to win this game despite the lag? We're going to see here. They do end up shielding, but they don't know I have a Charizard in the back, which is very good for me, right? They're gonna drill run me again. I'm going to go for some chip damage here. And then I'm going to swap. I just need to get to the Dragon Claw. We're going to over farm here. Okay, this. Oh, and we call a Hyper Beam. And since we're at the Blast Burn, we're just gonna throw the Blast Burn. Okay, this game looked a lot more scarier than what it had to be. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it though. So now we're going to see Umbreon into Machamp. Obviously, this is not the best lead, so we are going to swap into our Ninetales immediately here, and they're staying in. I'm like, okay, did they get to the rock slide? And this is a cross chop, just never too good, but we're gonna try to time our moves correctly with these waterfalls, trying not to give them free energy, free moves. And 1, 2, 3. That looked a little weird, but maybe they stopped for a second. I'm not sure. But either way, they're not going to shield. They're going to farm us down completely, which is fine. So now we can come into our Umbreon here. And we're going to get some more lag. We're going to let this go. They drill peck. It's lagging. We're going to farm up here. I'm going to throw as soon as I get to it because 3 turn versus 3 turns. So obviously there is no timing with moves. They do let it go, which is fine. So now I'm going to come into my Charizard here. What do I do here? Do I shield or call it? I call the cross chop, which is very nice of me. They come into a Crobat, which is not too nice, but we're going to get to this Blast Burn. We're going to charge it up in excellent. They do end up shielding, which is alright. And I do believe I end up shielding this. Yeah, I do shield the Poison Fang, which is not too ideal, but we're going to be able to get to this Blast Burn. And is this going to be enough to KO? It is just enough to KO. They're going to come back into their Machamp. And I need to, at this point, I need to get to a foul play in order for me to win. If they outpace us to the next cross chop, we just end up losing. But since I didn't want to throw on good timing, I throw immediately once I get to the foul play, and we're going to be able to take that game. So, very nice. Almost lost, but we do end up winning that. And now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Umbreon into Swampert. Obviously, this is where we want to see the not the fire type, the water types, because we are running 2 fires in the back, which do not want to see the Swampert. So we're going to play out this matchup, and once again, we're going to do 1 Snarl for their mud shot. They're going to let it go. They're going to charge up some more energy. I'm going to let it go. And it is just the Hydro Cannon. I'm going to, once again, 1 Snarl for their mud shot. We're going to charge up this foul play to an excellent. Do they want a shield? They don't want a shield, which is very nice for me. And at this point, I'm hoping that they do not throw the Earthquake, because that would be really bad. They go for the Hydro Cannon, which is fine. I'm at the next foul play. Do they want to shield this one? They do win a shield, which is very nice for me. And then they end up making a very nice catch, but that is fine. So now we're going to be able to switch out into our Ninetales here, and we're going to farm up. I don't think they're going to throw a Shadow Ball, but they should go for the Shadow Ball, to be honest. They go for Poison Fang, which is fine. I'm going to go do 1 Ember for their 1 Air Slash. They do end up shielding, which is very nice for me. Once again, I do end up timing my moves correctly, because I do not want them sneaking any fast moves in. They're going to throw immediately, and at this point, I'm like, I think I could just Ember this thing down completely before it gets to another move, and that is what we're going to do. And we're going to see what's in the back. We're not going to be able to find out, because they were probably weak to fire. It was probably a Venusaur or something that was weak to fire. But now we're going to see an amazing lead again. This is where we want to see it, because once again, we do not want to see it in the back up against one of our fire types. And they're going to throw immediately, which is fine. And 3 turn versus 3 turns, so it doesn't matter when we throw. So I'm just going to throw after doing 1 Snarl. And we're going to charge it up to an excellent. They're not going to shield, which is okay. So now I'm at the next foul play. Do they want to shield this one? We're going to find out. They don't want to shield, which is okay. And at this point, I think I'm okay with actually letting my Umbreon go down. So I am not going to shield. And are we going to be able to make it to another one? We are going to be able to make it to another foul play. Do they want to shield this one? They don't. So we win swap. And then they come into a Chestnut, which is okay. I kind of should have swapped instantly, to be honest, but in the back they have a Charizard, and they don't know that we have Shadow Charizard in the back too. So we're just gonna let this go. They actually Dragon Claws. I thought they were gonna go for the Blast Burn, but they ended up baiting us, which is fine with me. So now I'm going to throw the Weather Ball. They do end up shielding, which is good. Once again, I'm going to let this go. It is another Dragon Claw bait, and because of that, we're going to be able to make it to the Weather Ball before they KO us, and we're going to see what they want to do here. They are going to let it go, which is fine with me. So now I am going to charge up. I'm going to shield this next move, because I do not want to get hit with the Blast Burn, but they go for a Dragon Claw, which is okay. They come back into their Chestnut, so now I'm going with the no baits here. No reason for me to bait. They do end up shielding, which is fine. I'm going to no shield this first one. It is the Frenzy, and they're at the next one. I'm going to shield this just in case it is a superpower. I do not want to know how much a superpower it does, but they go for another Frenzy, and at this point I am at the Blast Burn. We're going to charge it up to an excellent, and we're going to be able to take that game. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the battles. Once again, they were done. The ones that are in the daytime are done on my Twitch. Link in the description if you do want to go over there and watch them happen in real time. Once again, we have a bad lead, so I'm going to swap out. They come into their Swampert, which is what we wanted to do. They throw immediately, which is fine. I do believe I end up living this. Barely enough to get to this Side Shock. Do they want to shield this? They don't want to shield it, which is okay with me. So now I'm going to wait out the clock just a little bit. And then I'm going to come into my Umbreon. Of course, you guys know what we're going to do here. We're going to throw a couple foul plays. Now, before they throw their first move at us, and it is going to be the Earthquake, which is fine. Going to be able to get to this foul play. Do they want to shield? They don't want to shield, which is okay. And we're going to get hit with another Earthquake. I actually thought about catching it on my Charizard, but I was a little bit too late for that. So now I'm going to switch out here, and I need to call a bait. So I need to no shield a cross chop, and I ended up shielding a cross chop, which kind of sucks. And right here, I make a mistake because I needed to bait, and I no bait once again, and they're going to shield this, which is not very good for me. So I don't understand. I don't think we win this, right? Because I had to shield this, or hope that it's a frenzy, and they go for the sludge bomb. So I just end up losing. But before I end up losing, I throw this foul play, and then I do believe I end up top left in here, or I let them take me out. I can't remember. I did like 50 battles, so yeah, I guess I let them take me out. Yeah, I did like 50 battles, so once again I do forget. And there is the beautiful 4-1, which could have been a 5-0 if I would have baited, but that is okay. So now we're gonna hop into the third set, and we're going to see a wall rain. So once again, we do need to bait out Swampert, that there is a Swampert back there, and they're staying in, which is kind of weird. And at this point, I am going to shield this potential Earthquake. I do believe it is the Earthquake. Very nice play. I'm gonna farm up extra, try to bait the overheat, see what they want to do here. They do shield, so now I'm going to throw immediately. They end up double shielding, which is very weird to be honest. So I guess I am going to double shield too. It is the Earthquake, and they're staying in, which is very, very weird. I don't know. Maybe they're triple weak to fire in the back. I don't know. But either way, I'm hoping this is not the Earthquake, and it is this Icicle Spear. So we're going to be able to KO this Pokemon. And in the back, they have an Ampharos, which is not too ideal. And for some reason, I over-tapped, but it was... I almost thought they were going to be able to sneak a move in, but they didn't sneak a move in. And since they're not throwing, I am going to throw my next move immediately here. And we're going to see what is in the back. It is a Venusaur, and they just instantly top left. And that is going to be a good game. So now we're going to see Umbreon into our Stunfisk, and a Galarian Stunfisk into our Umbreon. They're staying in, which once again, very weird. They go for the Rock Slide. I am not going to shield this. And they're still staying in, so I'm like, what the heck? Okay, well, here goes your first fire weather ball. Do you want to shield? They do want to shield, and now I do believe I end up shielding here. I'm hoping I can outpace them to the next move, or try to CMP them, but I lost track of how much energy they actually had, or where they were at. So just going to throw, and if I would have did one more, we would have got it on CMP. But at this point, I am going to shield this, and I'm going to try to swap and catch the Rock Slide, but they don't throw their energy, which is really bad for me. So now at this point, this is the Rock Slide though. They come into a Toxicroak, and I'm like, okay, this is not ideal, but we're going to be able to get to a last resort here. And Umbreon on its last resort, trying to get these last resorts off, hoping I can get to one more last resorts. And we do get to one more last resorts, and this is not going to be enough to KO, but I'm hoping that we're going to be able to wing attack down before they get to a move, or they throw the mud bomb here, but they don't throw a move and they get farmed down completely. In the back is a Tangrowth, and I'm hoping that they don't catch. I need this thing gone immediately, and they don't catch, so it's gone. I swap out, throw, and this is going to be a good game. Nice little combo play. Didn't bubble it because they had no more health. And while I probably could have wing attack down, but I thought that would have been a better game if I did that. So now we're going to see Dragonite into our Umbreon. Obviously, this is bad because they do have superpower, but I am going to let this go. Is it the superpower? It is the Dragon Claw. They go for the bait, which is very nice for us. So now I am going to charge this foul play up to an excellent. They do end up shielding, and I'm like, okay, what the heck? So now, once again, we tried to bait out the Swampert. We do end up baiting the Swampert out, which is very nice for me, and they already shielded, so they are not most likely not going to shield this. They're over farming, which is okay. So now I'm going to let this go. And Ninetales did his job. They throw immediately. And that is very fine. So now I am going to do one Snarl once again for their mud shot. And we're at the foul play. Do they want to shield this? They do want to shield, which is okay with me. I'm going to let this go, hoping that it is not an earthquake. And it is not an earthquake, so I throw immediately here and charge this foul play to an excellent. Is it enough to KO? It is enough to KO. I come into my Charizard. They come into the Dragonite. I am going to shield this first one, and they end up catching. They do a very nice catch on their Lapras, which is fine. And I need to get to this Blast Burn here. We get to the Blast Burn, charge it up to an excellent. They are shields down. So at this point, I am hoping that I was going to be able to farm down before they got to another move. But unfortunate for us, they actually do end up getting to another move. And I am at the Dragon Claw here, so I am going to throw the Dragon Claw. Is this going to be enough to KO? It is just enough to KO, and we're going to be able to take that game. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying the battles, like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate you guys. Once again, I know I don't say it as much, but I do appreciate it because I am making these videos for you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying them. So now we're going to see Swampert in the lead, this is where we want to see it because we do have double fire in the back, and this is not where it's not going to work if it is in the back. But once again, lucky for us, it is in the lead. We don't have to bait it out, and we're just going to play out this matchup. Once again, one Snarl for their mud shot. Charge up this foul play to an excellent. They don't want to shield. Super nice for me. I'm going to let this go. They can earthquake me. Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is preferred. But we're going to throw right before they get to the next move. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield, which is okay with me. I am going to no shield this. Once again, I thought about it, but it was not the earthquake. This is fine. I'm going to let this go. And at this point, I do believe I am just going to come into Charizard and wing attack this thing down. Hopefully they do not get to a move. They die with the move. I do believe they get KO'd with the move, I'm pretty sure. So now they're thinking about what they should do. They come into a Charizard. I am not going to bait because there's no reason for me to bait here. So they do end up shielding. I swap out once I get to the Dragon Claw, thinking that they were going to try to CMP me on the Dragon Claw. So they do end up throwing a Dragon Claw, which is fine with me. At this point, I am going to let this go. No point in me shielding this. Another Dragon Claw. Nice. And in the back is a Surf Edge. So I'm just going to go straight for the Side Shock here. Do they want to shield this? They do end up shielding it, and that is fine. So now they're going to be able to farm us down completely. I'm going to shield this up just in case it is the Brave Bird. It is a Leaf Blade, so they baited me. Nice. And since I'm at the Blast Burn, I'm just going to throw the Blast Burn immediately. I do not want to overfarm. So I try to find out that if they do have the Brave Bird. But at this point, we're going to be able to wing attack down, and we're going to be able to win that game. So now we're going to hop into the next battle. We're going to see Umbreon into Charizard. So once again, this gets a little iffy, right? Because Charizard does hit a little harder than Swampert. They go straight Blast Burn, which is fine with me. They swap out into a Blastoise. I cannot swap. So I do have to stay in. And we're going to be able to get to this next foul play. They don't want to shield. I'm going to farm up extra. I do believe I end up shielding this one. Try to get to another foul play here. And we're going to see they end up shielding two. And I'm going to try to get to another one, but they don't let me get to another one. So at this point, I'm going to let this go. And I'm going to come into Charizard, try to get all this farm. See if I can do something here. And they end up throwing, so I probably should have threw my move before they ended up throwing, to be honest, because those water guns are chunking and I got scared. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw because I do not want him to get to another move or potentially be close to having me farm down. And I know Bubble Lid to get a little bit more. In the back is a Swampert, so at this point this is pretty much GG's because we are running double fire and we don't have another Pokemon that can answer this Swampert. So I am going to get to the Dragon Claw, which is on a CMP tie, and our Charizard is going to go down at this point. And so we're going to come into our Cancel Ninetales, and we're going to see that we're just going to end up getting maybe potentially Earthquake here. No, they just go for the Hydro Cannon, and I go for the fire weather ball here. They no shielded, but we're not even going to be able to make it to another move. That Charizard is super healthy, and we're just going to end up losing that game. But it is another 4-1. So overall with this team, 3 sets and we went 4-1. So that is 4 times 3, 12. So we went 12-3 with this team. Hope you guys like the battles. Like, comment, subscribe. And once again, these battles are done on my Twitch. So link in the description if you guys do want to follow me over there and watch them happen in real time. But I do appreciate you guys. And I will see you guys on the next video.